reason I got into creating musical robots was, one, it was sort of a reaction to my previous work, which was in creating musical controllers, so MIDI controllers mainly, to be played by humans and to create synthetic sound. These are all input devices to a computer, so that you're doing something and they're sending data into the computer. And I got to thinking after a while, the opposite of that would be sending the data out of the computer and using that to control physical devices. And that led to the idea of robotic musical instruments. Also, it was this idea that we could create new kinds of performers, new kinds of performing instruments, acoustically based with all of the chaos and complexity of acoustic sounds, and the
That's actually a great.
Also this idea of creating new kinds of performers, new kinds of instruments that sound different than synthesized counterparts. So you can synthesize a guitar, you can sample a guitar, but it still comes out of speakers. Now the guitar bot comes out of speakers as well, so that's a little bit of a lark. But it's all independent strings. It sounds different than people playing guitar. And I've never wanted to try to recreate or surpass, try to imitate what humans do on instruments. I don't want to take a guitar that a human plays. I don't want to take a guitar off the shelf and make a robot to play that. I want to make a robot that's a new kind of guitar. So all of our instruments really, when we conceive them, we conceive of instruments that are robotic in nature, as opposed to creating robots to play existing instruments. The idea behind the ModBots was created by Bill Bowen, one of LEMUR's artists, and his concept behind creating these small percussive instruments was to be able to sonify a space. Go into an architectural space and put instruments really all over the place and create surround sound in the truest sense of the term. He comes from an audio engineering background, and he was sort of frustrated with this idea of doing these great mixes of live performances and just still having them coming out from a pair of speakers. And when I met him, he saw, before he was in the group, he saw us demonstrating one of our robots, and he said, "Oh wow, I've been thinking about this exact thing, and how can I get involved, and how could I do this stuff?" And I said, "Show up tonight at the shop at 10." And he did, and through that and future collaborations came this whole series of percussive instruments. The first time that he installed them was in the Angel Orensanz Foundation's center, which is a converted church on the Lower East Side. And of course, high cathedral ceilings and lots of places to hang things. And Angel is a sculptor and sculpts out of metal, and Bill asked if he could attach beaters and actuators and things to the sculptures, and Angel said, "Sure, go for it." And so, there's a video on the LEMUR website, lemurbots.org, where you can see a demonstration of that original ModBots installation. And since then, they've been to installations in California and in New York, and they'll be going to Pittsburgh next summer, and so they're making their way around.